if you think about it, right, the telephone should have been invented second, and the iPad should have been invented first.
Yeah.
Because the iPad is a natural extension, and the iPhone, which I have, and text messaging, which we've been talking about, is a natural extension of telegraphy, right? Once you have the telegraph, we both share the Canadian right, by the way, but we'll come back to that, once you have a telegraph, it's a very natural thing then to have a handheld telegraph in which you can communicate abbreviated information in language. Now, imagine that had been the gold standard in 1900, as it should have been by the general laws of technological evolution. And then imagine that Steve Jobs had invented the telephone and the phone call 6 weeks ago. Can you imagine the excitement, the feeling of this incredible technological barrier that had been broken through? Because you can say, for the first time, you'll be freed from the tyranny of the keyboard, from the limitations of the text. You'll hear your girlfriend's voice. You'll hear your boyfriend's every sigh. The possibilities of erotica, the possibilities of intimacy will be vastly increased. And my 15-year-old would be rushing out, Dad, please, can we get a telephone? Please, can we have one of those black things with a dial installed? Please, that's what I want for Christmas, because I want to make phone calls.
There's tons of examples of this. This is like, I have a watch here, right? It's a wind-up. Now, why do I have a wind-up watch, a mechanical watch? Because of the exact same phenomenon. I used to have a watch with a battery in it, and that was presented to me. I got this as a kind of adult because that was the latest. Batteries have watches have batteries. Nonsense. If you were starting over, the first thing would be the watch with the battery, right? Because it's problematic. It's got a battery that will run out at some point that you don't know when, right? You have no idea. You could be stranded somewhere and your watch is stopped and you can't get it going again.
Right. It's built into the system.
You're done, and you got to pay money and pry the back off, right? In order, right? So that's first order. And then someone should come along and say, I have an improvement. I have a watch which, as you move your hand, it'll wind itself, right? That's number two, when people would rush. And then and then you would say, but there's a problem there. If I put my watch down for too long, it won't stop.
Having dinner.
And then the third round is, I got a watch where I got a little thing on the side, and all you have to do, takes you 10 seconds a day, and you're free of every constraint. It's completely backwards. Right? So the only reason people buy, and the same thing with, I've often argued the same thing with, I would say that the newspaper is also at the end of, you start out with the iPad, right? You got to plug it in, it's got a battery. Newspaper, I mean, I give it to you, it weighs almost nothing, you take it anywhere.
Go into the bathroom with it, go into the end with it.
And when you're done, you just pitch it and see, you just walk away, no commitment. No, it's like, what's better?